But what about when you get into like more technical positions? Like some of the jokes are being like that Kamala is a DEI candidate. Like, it's like, and so what you're saying, like that type of thing, like, sure, I would say that makes sense. Like from a business perspective, you should obviously market. I feel like this: if you're somewhere, if you're in if you're in Maine, you don't need to have a taco night. I would assume you're Hispanic. You know what I mean? But if you're in Texas in your hotel and you haven't been having taco night, I think y'all should be out of it. First off, congratulations for still being in business. You know what I mean? So I would think from that general standpoint, yeah, you should improve.
But see, my rebuttal would be even saying like if it's not just location based, would be you can get customers. If you're a hotel chain, you can get customers from anywhere. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like I might not be, the demographics might not support having a taco night in Maine. However, because you are a travel institution, you know what I mean? It's possible that you'll get anybody from anywhere, right? So you should, you know what I mean? You should always be. I'm sorry, I know you're using that example.
Yeah, I'm saying from the hospitality standpoint, that makes sense. But when you get into a more technical position, meaning in short, like, it is something like in our field, right? Or something like a politician, things like that, where should it be more on DEI, meaning checking these type of boxes, getting on the affirmative action branch, or should it be more of, do you have the skill set? And what the makeup looks like is what the makeup looks like.
Yeah, so my 2 cents on that is I have no problem with DEI as long as it doesn't circumvent your credentials, right? You still have to be able to, you can't be a DEI hire and not be able to do the job. Does that make sense?
Which means it's not a DEI hire. I would think.
It is, if you still put it as a factor for hiring. Does it make sense? Like if it's like, okay, if I get what you're saying. You're saying like I would have hired you anyway regardless, right? If you have the credentials.
Yeah, but when you get into intersectionality, right? Who's at the top of the DEI? See, this is the issue. See, it used to be us. Okay, it used to be I'm black, so and that's supposed to trump everything. My ancestors were slaves. I'm supposed to trump everything. Now that's not really that important. So, so put it like this: so I'm black, right, and this other person is black, right? It's two black males, but I'm heterosexual, and then he's homosexual, so he trumps me.
Yeah.
But in the DEI, but how? Right? Say we have the same resume, right? So how do you determine when the resume is quote unquote equal, which is not possible? But how do you determine the hierarchy of the DEI? Do you have to actually be in, right? Do you have to be part of the LGBTQIA community to decide the hierarchy of it? So how do you actually break that down?
Good question. Yeah.
And that's the part where, it's like, well, I don't know. Exactly. You don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah, I think when you start getting into that level, though, it's like, okay, you got your DEI is a factor, but then it's also like the interview plays a portion, right? So we not gonna act like people don't get hired based off of their interview portion of their, I do think that plays a role, right? So let's say we have the exact same resume, same circumstances as the hypothetical you gave, right? One person's heterosexual, one person's LGBTQ. If I'm assuming one person is going to score higher in the interview process, right?
Yeah, on the soft skills.
So that would probably be the person I hire.
That's going to be me.
The thing that I feel like is also a lost art that I think but like the millennials have kind of tried to preserve is charisma. People lack charisma. The interoperability to talk to another person, right? Articulate what you need, define requirements. Like that part I feel like is starting to become a lost art after our generation, right? Like we got
social media.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That social technology has almost made a generation that is inept at communication, right?
Yeah, they are.
In person.
They are.
You know what I'm saying? It's like hello, I'm here. Like you can't. I've met a lot of young people that can't have conversations, and that's terrible. You know what I mean? For the workplace. So that would be where I think would swing the vote one way or another.
Yeah, because even coming from in theory, they say sports is the ultimate meritocracy. So they just judge you based off of your skill set. But in short, it's like when you play in sports, it's like people come from different backgrounds, and it's just like, look, man, we try to win a championship. It's like, yeah, I really don't care what you're from, what you believe in. You just need to have a skill set to do what we need to do to win the game, right? And so, when it comes to things that we as Black people are at the top of, which would be like the entertainment field, in short, athletes, actors, artists, things like that. There is no DEI there. Shout out to Eminem. But in short, in sport, let's be clear. In sports, right? White Americans are not good at basketball. I can't even name you the best white American basketball player. I think it's Tyler Hero, the white American.
Really?
Boy. That's crazy. Luka's not American.
You're right. I just had to think about it. Like
the last great one was Larry Bird. The last all-time white basketball player was Larry Bird. That's really the last one. There is, John Stockton, right? Those are the two, but they played short at the same time period. But John Stockton isn't in the same conversation as Larry Bird. Like Larry Bird is a top 10 conversation. John Stockton's a top 10 position.
I'm gonna ask a real dumb question. This might sound really stupid.
Who's John Stockton?
Dirk is not from here.
He's German. Okay, Steve Nash is Canadian.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I figured with this, once I was like,
you must have never heard Dirk talk.
Yeah.
He got a black white. That's probably why he confused.
And
Anyway,
I was like, is he not from here? Okay, anyways.
he's cultured from what I've seen. I don't know him personally, but
I was about to say, he's been to a couple cookouts. Anyways, go ahead.
Yes,
Go ahead.
but no, I mean, or even like think about it in NFL. I think it's crazy, and I know people don't talk about this, but I do. To see the change of the quarterback position going from not needing to be mobile to literally it is a bare minimum required now is insane.
Yeah,
it is insane to think that Tom Brady, who is the GOAT,
yes,
if he were to come out, let's say it was still just him, right? It was still everything who he was. He would literally not be able to play football at all. He wouldn't get drafted.
Yep.
It's insane. So even the things that, speaking for sports where, black, African Americans, black people dominate, things that we got knocked for now just like, okay, mobile quarterback, but now it's like, nah, everybody can run. You can't name me a starter who can't move.
Yeah.
He's not saying that everybody's Lamar, but there's no Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
There's no Tom Brady.
Nobody's stationary.
Yeah, nobody's stationary. Yeah. Everyone is mobile. I'm thinking, when did that? And obviously it's a white quarterbacks too. It's like, when did that happen?
Yeah.
I can't even. I guess the only thing I think of is maybe Andrew Luck. I mean, technically call it Steve Young, even friend talking to him, but like Andrew Luck is like when it was like, okay, number 1 pick and he's mobile as hell. Right. I mean, because Matt Stafford could move, Sam Bradford could move, but they weren't mobile like Andrew Luck. But I mean, Alex Smith can move too. I guess you take it back, maybe to Alex Smith. I'll give him this credit. But it's like now it's bare minimum. Like it's not even a question if you're mobile or not. Like it's like
how well can you move? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like playing D-line or O-line. Like, are you strong? Well, duh, you're strong. I mean, you can't play on the line and not be strong. So it's just that type of stuff that, where again, there's a lot of black people here and like people aren't looking for white American players to play basketball. And they know for shooting, but now the best shooter is black. The best shooter has always been black, by the way, in the NBA. But like now, it's like even the things that white people used to be dominant or known for in sports, dominating quarterback position, dominating being able to shoot in basketball and still having a way. They don't do that no more. And guess what? Know why? Because they're not the best. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And so for other things where it's more technical, politicians, whatever it is, our field, it's like I don't want my doctor to be here because of their race or DEI hire. I want them to be here for my skill set, especially going through, pregnancy now, right? Like I wanted the credentials for my wife's doctor to be up there. And when we found out, she had a slew of doctors, she had like 9, but one of them went to Wake Forest. I said, yeah, you need to deliver my baby. All right. Wake Forest is like Alabama football, short. Wake Forest is a top medical school. Yeah. You need to get my kid here. And guess what? That's who it was. And she got him here.
Yeah.
That's all. I don't care what her beliefs are or how she lives her life, because at the end of the day, my wife and my son being alive trump that. I could care what, ironically that his name is Trump. That's
can you do the job? Period.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And because when you think about people complaining about supporting black businesses and things like that, it's like BG&E, my assumption, is not ran by a whole bunch of black people, but best believe I don't care what they do over there. I need my electricity, my gas to come to where I live at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.